Hello, my name is Katya Sankow, and I received a critical language scholarship to study Russian in Vladimir, Russia in the summer of 2018, right after my second year. I applied to the critical language scholarship right after I completed UVA Summer Language Institute, where I studied, where they basically consolidate 2 years of Russian into a summer. And so Um, even though I had 2 years of Russian under my belt, I had only been studying Russian for about 3 months. So I felt like I was a little bit behind in terms of Russian development, especially if I wanted to pursue a career that required Russian language skills. And so I met a couple of CLS program alumni at UVA, and I heard about their experiences and their stories, and it sounded like a spectacular program. I always start out by explaining my CLS experience by talking about my host family. That is probably the core component of any exchange program. And so I personally lived with just a host mom. Her daughters had grown up and moved out, but everybody has a different host family situation. She was very inquisitive and she's very sociable. So some days we'd spend hours on end talking, and we would only be speaking in Russian. There's a no English rule, and so if you were caught speaking English, you risked being dismissed from the program. So even when I was with my American friends there, we had to be speaking in Russian. We took classes 5 days a week. My class had only 4 students in it, so I that's an important thing to mention because that means that you can't hide in the back of the classroom. They were very involved, and the teachers are really involved. Russian pedagogy is very interesting and specific. They don't hesitate to call you out for your lagging performance or for areas where they notice that you need improvement. After the school day, if we didn't have any type of excursion in town, we just had free time. And so my American peers and I would go about town. We would go to cafes to try and get some homework done. We would go to the gym or to the parks or just to local sites. When I was there, the State Department had placed a level 3 travel advisory on Russia. And the only conditions in which we were allowed to go and study and live in Vladimir were that we didn't independently leave the confines of the city. So we couldn't leave, we couldn't take weekend trips or anything, but the program did plan a couple of excursions for us to local historical sites, to local towns and villages, and also to Moscow and St. Petersburg. Still some of the coolest things I've ever done. It's hard to quantify what this program did for my development. I'm pretty sure that it opened a number of doors for me that I didn't know existed. And it definitely reaffirmed that the path that I was on is the path that I'm confidently pursuing now. And so I've received a couple of really interesting internships since I'm a finalist, I'm a Fulbright finalist now, and I'm sure that my international education experience, that is a large factor in that. But what's also, probably more universal is that my cohort, they were my peers in that experience, but they're also going to be my colleagues in the coming years. I can already see that we're having parallel experiences, even if they're in different sectors than I am. Like I'm currently in a think tank, and I have some friends working for the government and some friends working in private industry. We're all kind of pursuing parallel tracks, and so it'll be really interesting to see where I'll meet them again, and also my language skills. That's probably the most important part. My first week when I was there, I couldn't order anything from the cafe other than an Americano because I was afraid to say anything else. And then by the end of the program, when we were in St. Petersburg during our last week, I was at a museum and I had a full conversation with a curator, and she was really giddy about my questions, and she complimented my Russian. So uh, that displays pretty well how far my language skills uh, came throughout the program. Budgeting for CLS is pretty easy.